Oh, it's August 26th.
Sit back and relax because it's time for Watcher Weekly.
We got ourselves a real heat wave in California.
Anyways.
Oh yeah, take care of it, Ryan. Do the thing.
Welcome to Watcher.
Go ahead.
Welcome to Watcher
got it.
Weekly. You son of a. Welcome to Watcher Weekly, a show presented by Breather, a show where we kick back, chat, and answer your guys' questions to the best of our ability.
If you'd like to submit questions for this show, swing them on over to the C tab on the YouTube page, or We Are Watcher, patreon.com/Watcher, Tumblr, wearewatcher.tumblr.com, facebook.com/Watcher Entertainment. Is that everything?
I believe that's a lot of links.
I really gotta get that down.
Do you even visit our addresses?
Sure I do, every day. Ryan, can I say that we missed you very much?
Thank you. I wish it was mutual.
Oh, I was being genuine.
It's okay. Shane and I have been communicating via links actually all week, sending each other funny videos.
That's
including
true.
A very funny video of a raven speaking like a human.
Oh yeah, can we show that? People do that, right?
I certainly
We're
hope so.
commenting on it, that's fair use.
It's fucking funny as hell.
Look, there's this really funny video of a raven talking like a human and saying,
Yeah.
Hi.
And it's a perfect callback to something that had happened to Shane, myself, and his brother once when we were at a bar.
A raven spoke to you guys?
Shane and I were at a bar in Disneyland. We were at Trader Sam's enjoying delicious tiki drinks, might I add, in the summertime. We're sitting in the outside part of the bar.
Whole gang was there.
It was Shane,
but you
myself,
and my brother,
his brother,
Sarah
and
was there.
Sarah. Yes, and I believe there were other
a couple
folks
other
there.
friends. But my brother was sitting right next to you.
His brother and I were sitting right next to each other. We were in the outside portion of the bar. And as you may know or may not know, there are a bunch of stray cats around the Disneyland resort, which is what we call the Disneyland area, including the hotels and the bars. You'd know that if you were in the... Anyways, a stray cat made its way next to our table. And what did it do? It did what a little cat does, is it hid under our table and kind of poked its head up. And both Shane's brother Scott and I were sitting there, and we saw the little cat head, and we were like, oh, what a cute little cat. We had a moment, we went back to sip our tiki drinks, and then we just hear from under the table, hi. Both Scott and I kind of freeze, because we both are in the moment of going, that cat just spoke, right? And we realized that we both were frozen and thinking the exact same thing, so we turned to each other and went, yeah, that cat did not just say hi, obviously. No, I heard the hi as well. And then we both just looked down at this cat, which was still, by the way, just...
Was it just staring at you?
Just staring up at us like. And then the rest of the table took notice to how our faces had gone white. And they were like, what are you guys freaked out about? And we're like, that cat just said hi to us. And then Shane, I think it was Shane just pointed out, oh no, there's a child that's actually under the table as well. And there was a small child under the table.
A little boy running around.
He was hidden from our view. He was further down the table. And
yeah, he was
said
like behind like a stool or something. One of those little stool boys.
Wow.
All that to say that there is a video of a raven speaking, and he sounds exactly like the cat/child did.
Hi.
One of my favorite memories, and something that Scott and I will probably talk about at Shane's funeral.
You know, we'll link it in the description so you can watch that funny raven and imagine a cat speaking. Just a quick heads up, this week we got a puppet history, and we're going to Egypt. For what? Well, I don't know. It's a fun episode though. We got Ryan Graham joining us, who's one of my favorite human beings in the world.
Ryan squared.
Yeah, we actually realized at the top of the episode that having two Ryans was a bit of a complication. Even though Ryan's name, Ryan Graham, see, already an issue. He has two N's in his name, which is frankly pretty cool. It's not like one of those boring boilerplate Ryans, you know?
So what did you guys do in the episode to distinguish between the Ryans?
The solution was simple.
We came up with a fun nickname, but we're not gonna reveal it till you see the episode.
And the obvious nickname.
The obvious nickname. No, I said we're not gonna reveal. Yeah, it makes sense, and that is
It
Ryan's
makes no
new title.
sense.
Yeah. Also, if you haven't checked it out yet, if you go to watcherentertainment.com/enroll-now, we've been rolling out really fun newsletters for each episode of Puppet History that kind of delve into the topic a little more in depth. There's always a ton of details that we simply can't include in the episodes because otherwise these episodes would be 90 minutes long. So it's always tough to omit certain details, and this is a fun way to include more.
And that's not to say that we don't film all of those details.
We really do.
You guys don't know what it's like to be a contestant on Puppet History. It's nice when it's in the fun little neat packaging that it's in when it's in the final version. But to sit there for 4 straight hours, 4-hour lectures.
Learning is fun, Ryan. Just accept it. Just take it, have fun.
Oh, I love learning. I just don't like hearing a script that's, akin to the thickness of the Bible being dictated to me. So.
Well, I'm very thorough,
He's fair enough.
And by that I mean Carrie, our researcher, is very thorough. All right, let's get into some cues, huh? Oh, we have a fun segment coming up at the end of this. It's a fun little game. It's from Would I Lie to You, which is an incredible show that you should watch.
Never seen it. I am excited to do this though because I think I know you guys pretty well, but
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see, dude.
We'll see.
Let's get into questions. As always, we'll be answering more of these over on our Patreon version of this show, Watcher Weekly Plus, over at patreon.com/watcher. I picked this first one because I don't remember specifically what this is. Oh, this is referring to Weird Wonderful World. This is from Lim Laugh Love. They said, Ryan, what specifically is wrong with how Shane eats fruit? I believe you had some sort of
This is referring to the Breakfast Club. I don't know if there's anything particularly wrong per se when it comes down to details. He does kind of pop it into his mouth like a little hobbit.
I mean, this is specifically referring to grapes.
He gets his eyes all beady and he goes, and he just sucks them and looks at it.
That's, like, I don't control how beady my eyes are.
You know when you're on a road trip with one of your siblings, and even if they're not really doing anything, their presence, just their very being, existence even, annoys you? That might be this. Shane and I spend an unhealthy amount of time with each other. Just him sitting there, even if it's something as innocuous as eating little grapes, could annoy me. And I think he picks up on that energy and then pushes it a little farther and then starts eating them like a little wombat.
Wait, so how does he eat? I'm confused. I'm trying to get to the root of this question, which
He goes like this. He kind of like hunches his shoulders up like this and he makes sure I see him. He'll even nudge me a little bit. And he'll go, and he'll make noises, like mouth noises as he does it.
Oh, sounds like a choking hazard to me.
Anyone else want to grab a question here? Grab a cue.
Sure, I love this question, and I pulled it because it was very funny, and I kind of want things to work this way, but Hans Samuel says, do the animations in Puppet History happen IRL? I don't know. I feel so stupid asking this question. Don't worry. You're not stupid asking the question. It's very funny, but do they happen in real life?
They don't happen in real life. At least we set out initially to try and mimic sort of like a paper puppet kind of aesthetic to them. Though I think this season, because it's worth a good segue here, is that we brought in Mike Fox, who used to work at BuzzFeed, worked on Ruining History, an incredibly talented and funny man. He's doing all the animations this season, and he's a lot better at After Effects than I am. And a lot faster. In, I guess, last week's episode, the Pompeii episode, obviously, there's a lot of like explosions and smoke and special effects that could not have been done in camera. Great to know that maybe it's fooling some people and they think I'm actually holding up elaborate puppet shows. That's kind of what we're going for with it, but no. Louise New. When is Homemade coming back? I love that series. Too bad there were only 3 episodes.
I think about this every day too. I miss it.
Every day?
Every moment of every day. Brittany and I outlined 6 entire episodes, had them all planned out. We were 2 weeks away from filming the first episode, and then the pandemic hit. And we were like, okay, we're gonna just push this back a little bit. And then the pandemic got worse and worse and worse. And now it is August. We're going to probably bring it back whenever it's safe to film. If you could let me know when the pandemic is over, I will be very grateful. And we have some really good episodes lined up.
I was very excited for them. This is gonna be a hell of a season 2. This question is from Kimberly Moreno. This is for all of you guys. This is quite an odd question, but what flavor of chapstick is your favorite? Like I said, it's an odd question, but it's a question that I feel most people can answer. Best of love, Kimberly. Best of
Thanks,
love.
Kimberly.
Well, Shane, everyone knows this for you because you've referenced it in an Are You Scared episode.
I've got 2 sitting right here at all times.
What flavor?
It's Burt's Bees. It's original peppermint,
Yeah, I knew that.
Shout out to Burt's Bees. Sponsor me. I'll get a tattoo.
Shane, I will say, has the best lip hygiene out of any person I know.
One of the greatest things I've ever done in my life is I buy like 20 of these at any given time. Then they just flood my life. So every
Yeah.
every like pair of pants I put on, every jacket I put on, they're just like in the pockets. They're everywhere, all around the apartment. Sometimes they land on the floor and Obi like bats them around, so I'll find one under a cabinet somewhere.
You gotta have a problem, I think.
All right, well, I'm here for the people. I use this brand, Nivea.
Well, I guess we don't even need to do a segment now because the segment for this episode can be talking chapstick. Chat and chap.
All right, let's move on to the segment here.
A brief explainer of how this works.
Yes, I would like an explainer.
We put out a tweet that asked people to make up stories, and we also submitted to Brittany some true stories about ourselves. Now, Brittany is taking all of those, the truths and the lies, and she's going to present us with one that we must read aloud to the two other people. And we're each going to read either a truth or a lie. We don't know what it's going to be to the other two people.
But we each will get one question to the person who's doing the lying or the truth telling to explain themselves.
And they will get the chance to guess whether or not we're lying. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Here we go, though. What if the lie turns out to be true?
Well, that would be freaky, baby.
Here we go. Okay, so mine is, once on a date, I ran out of things to say and ended up asking the girl what her favorite toothpaste flavor was.
This sounds so very true.
It sounds like it probably happened, but I think it's a lie. But I'm sure it happened.
You each get one question. You each get one question.
What were the circumstances of this date? Like, was it date number one or?
Yeah, so this was a first date. It was at my favorite bar, which at the time when I was dating, I was lazy and I didn't want to go to different places. So I went, that's a good bar. But that was my main first date bar. And I actually started to feel a little weird because the bartender started to recognize me.
Yeah.
And he was just like,
He thought you were a Lothario.
he thought I was like some kind of player or something, when in reality I was just bad at first dates.
This does scan timeline-wise.
Trying to figure out how to date.
I do remember you saying that you went to this bar a lot because it was just too much work to repeatedly come up with new ideas for places to go.
Why toothpaste?
Well, my dad's a dentist.
That is,
Oh,
you know what? I can confirm
lie.
that is true.
That's true, but that answer was too obvious. That sounds like something that somebody would make up about you. That's a lie.
I didn't even make this up. My dad has tubes of toothpaste all over our house. That's what happens when you're a dentist's son.
I'm
It's a lie.
gonna go truth. I go truth. This feels like a Ryan Bergara classic shenanigan. He's a very occasionally socially awkward in a way that I feel like he would ask someone about toothpaste.
And the truth is, this is a lie. This is a lie.
Wow!
Boom!
Yeah, this was,
Nailed it.
I don't know, whoever made this up did a good job because this does actually
nailed it.
sound like something I would do.
It does.
In fact, I do get anxious quite a bit in social one-on-one interactions, especially on first dates because I had never dated before. One of the things I talked about with my girlfriend now, I talked about Paddington Bear for 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, see,
About-
like
about
that's
why
that's
I thought he was the best version of anybody, and we should all aspire to be as pure as him. He's incorruptible. I was saved in her phone as Paddington Boy.
you are Paddington Boy. Okay.
Oh, let's go Steven. Let's go Steven, actually.
go
Steven
Steven.
might be
All right,
harder to
I'll
guess.
go next.
Okay.
I'll go next.
I like this game so much.
Here we go.
All right.
My mom offered to pay me money to eat vegetables as a kid because I was such a picky eater.
I'll outright ask what the terms of this deal were.
Yeah.
What led up to it, and I know this is supposed to be one question, but I want the details on this. I want to know
That's the question. What are the
led
details?
to it, how long it lasted, what your rate was, if there was some sort of contract signed. Give me the deets on the numbers
So,
here.
I believe it was $1 per piece of broccoli or whatever vegetable is on the table,
That
and
$1 per broccoli.
$1
Seems like a
per
good deal.
broccoli.
That's an incredible
I
deal.
refused it because I only ate chicken nuggets and other meats or rice or whatever. I just hated vegetables so much. So
How old were you when this happened?
I believe it was between around the ages of like 7 and 10.
Okay, I'm gonna go with a lie here. This is what I'm gonna go with.
7 and 10. That feels a little old.
Feels old. First off, if you're that old, I'm 100% taking this deal. Secondly,
And what?
he likes vegetables. Steven likes vegetables.
Yeah, he likes vegetables. If I can offer one more question, what?
Sure.
You cannot. per the rules of the game.
I'm gonna go truth again. It seems like something a fed-up parent would do, knowing that he's not gonna take the deal, that he hates vegetables so much that they're like, I'll give you $1 of broccoli, knowing that it's not gonna work.
Especially when the child in question is money-obsessed Steven Lim.
And I do know a lot of people who were pickier eaters when they were younger and eventually, now have no issues. It's a common phase for kids, so.
And the answer is, it's truth.
What?
Shane.
Tell us a little more about it.
Yeah, I mean, I never had, I grew up, again, in a pretty smallish town in Ohio. And obviously, even though I grew up around like a lot of Asian food, I just refused to eat vegetables. I hated them. I hated vegetables even until I was like almost like a late teenager. And then one day somebody was like, you're Malaysian, don't you like durian? And I was like, yeah, because I was too ashamed to say I didn't like durian as a Malaysian. But I hated it.
It smells so bad.
And then they're like, oh, what happened to durian right here? And so I ate it and I was like, oh man, I love this. But then I realized it's a lot of mental gymnastics to actually like something. Like you can actually over time like foods the more you eat them. Now I am Steven Lim, worth it boy, food producer.
I guess it scans you are now doing a food show where you literally have money built into the format. It started at a young age, I guess. It was cultivated young. Why I thought you were lying was the vague range of age. 7 to 10 is very
7 to 10.
strange.
I get that though, because I have this thing where memories I have before the age of 12 or something. I'm like, I don't know when that
hard to
was.
tell.
It's weird to me when people are like, I remember when I was 3 and I got a red bike.
I was expecting more like a 3 to 6.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
7 to 10 feels like
picky.
pretty old.
Shane, you're up next.
Now it's my turn. I once stole an owl from a bank.
I'm sorry?
He said, I once stole an owl from a bank.
I said I once stole an owl from a bank.
What did you do with the owl?
I put it in my trunk.
No, let's see.
What was the purpose of it? Like, what did you?
It's one of those. Have you ever seen when people take like a fake owl and they put it I think people put them on their roofs, or maybe it scares squirrels away.
We're talking a live owl here, right? I mean, I know that it's not. Is that technically a question?
It was
you just said fake owl.
I said fake owl.
You said a fake owl. Okay, I just wanted to make sure you weren't misspeaking there.
Well, it would be. Why would a bank have a live owl?
That's what I was wondering.
So obviously it was a fake owl, and I thought, I'm gonna steal that owl.
I want you to describe to me in detail what this owl looked like.
It was it had 2 big eyes and a beak.
Size?
Owl-sized. Picture an owl, but fake. And that's sort of where we're at with it, like that, I guess. Little ears.
So full of shit. This is 100% a lie.
I'm going truth because I think Shane is playing us. He's answering it like he's lying, but I think it's true. Channeling the energy into the universe, true.
I'd love for it to be true.
It's true.
Are you fucking kidding me?
It's true, yeah. I was a dumb teen. I stole a fake owl from a bank. It might actually still be in my parents' backyard. I don't know. I brought it home, and my parents were like, where'd you get that from? I was like, I stole it.
It was so absurd that it had to be true. I got everything right, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah, I got both of you guys right.
Oh, nice.
He's unflappable.
He's the winner.
Unfoolable.
All right, well, that was fun. If you want us to play that again sometime, let us know. I had a good time doing it, so I'm
That's
down.
great. I really enjoyed that.
We have some shout outs to do before we go. Usually we save all these up and do them in one giant chunk every month or so, but we thought it might be fun to pace them out a little bit more. So who we got this week?
All right, so we have about 30 names we're gonna work through here. So to start off the thank yous, we have Allie, thank you. Alice Wilton, Alyssa Maserati? Well, that sounds
Maserati. Sounds like Maserati.
Yeah, that's
she
what it sounds like.
She probably gets that all the time. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Becca Joy, Bella Hella, Broken Atlas, Cap Chaos, Carolyn Hollis, Carrie Mahan, Catherine Petrovich, Courtney Ann, Danielle, Emily Claire, Emily McMinn, and let's toss to one of the other boys.
Okay, I was gonna say, save some for the rest of us, bro. Aaron, thank you. Fiveling, thank you. Jenny Madsen, Joseph Cordish, Carrie Ann Carr, Kelsey Berthelot? Berthelot?
Cool name.
Lily. And another Lily. Are there 2 Lilies? We got double Lilies? Lorna, Melissa Anselin, and Steven. I'll let you.
And let's take it away. Melissa Betterly, thank you. Nalajan Joe. Nikki URQ. Rebecca S, thank you. Sergio Ruvalcaba. Shazzy. Show. Tina Chiang, thank you. And then we got some letters here. I might need some help. Can you, when you got help?
Is that the name of Elon Musk's child?
Yeah, it might be.
Daniel Patrick and Dimitri.
Nice.
Thank you all.
Thank
for
you
your
all.
patronage.
I think that does it for this week. Be sure to check out Puppet History, and we'll see you next week for another rousing episode of Watcher Weekly. Stay safe out there.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.